Hey everybody, welcome to another video about Go Buffalo. In this video I'm going to show you guys how to do a resource. So now in the last video you kind of saw, okay, how do you generate a model and get it to work. Now let me show you the tool that Buffalo has to make spinning up full CRUD on something really easy. Not super easy, but pretty easy. And you're probably familiar with resources if you've used like Laravel, Ruby on Rails, Django, and basic resources. The idea is that you have this model and it creates all the standard routes to do full CRUD operations. So that way you have a easy starting place. So let's see here. Now you can do it manually. It's just more work manually. But just to kind of understand how this works, what it does is that you're creating an interface. And if you're not familiar with Go, what an interface is, in a sense that a struct was a way to define like a combination of different attributes. So we created our model, we created a struct. An interface is a way to sit there and say, okay, something that has the use of these functions. Okay, because the way Go works is that you don't say this function belongs to this object. You create a function and then you can create multiple like receivers, which are different types of objects. So then an interface is anything that would apply, what can be used for any object that uses all these functions. So essentially what you have to do is you have to create this thing called a resource, and then you have to implement all 6 functions, create, show, list, all your normal CRUD stuff, and then that becomes a resource. Okay, so let's just see it in action. So let's see here. Let me kill the server for a moment. Okay, and I tested this out with a model called cat, so we're going to create dogs. Okay, so we're going to do buffalo pop generate. Actually, I don't even think I need to do that. Buffalo generate resource. Okay, we're generating a resource, and we're going to call it dogs. And what you want to do here is then you want to name any special properties. And you do save yourself some trouble if you do it now. Okay, and you can, by default, it'll assume string. So if I just do name and we'll say age, we'll gonna deal with age as a string. Okay. But actually, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens if I try to do age int. Okay. Let's see if it likes it or throws me an error. Okay, basically what that's saying, create me a new resource called, actually let's make it dog. But, okay, let's just do Control C then. Buffalo generate a resource called dog. Okay, and it has a string of name and an age which is an integer. And let's try it out. Okay. So Buffalo's in the process of doing the things. Okay, and it created all the files. Okay, so it creates all these files. So let's just go methodically through them. So first, let's make sure that our models are created. So see, we have these 2 new model files, go for dog. And let's see, just make sure that our fields are added to them. Good. So there's our name and age. See, already done for us. Isn't that nice? So that's good. Now let's take a look at our migration file. So there should be a new migration file for dog. Good. Let's make sure that looks right. And there's our name and age column. We didn't have to add those manually. That's nice. You would have to add those manually if I didn't put that in the command. So if you don't specify your other properties in the command, then you need to go back and add them in the model and in the migration file before moving forward. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So that's nice. So now let me migrate. So that way the it's in our Buffalo migrate. Okay. Oh, what else? It's Buffalo pop migrate. Buffalo pop migrate. That'll create to the dogs. See, dogs is created. So dogs now exists in our database. Nice. See, oh, that's pretty straightforward. Okay. And now I go to, see, now I created some new actions files, dogs. Okay, and you see in here, there's 6 functions. Functions for list, for listing all the dogs. Then there's another function for showing an individual dog. It's already all built out for you. Okay, and you can adjust them. You can add more functions if you want. If you want to create like custom things. But then what happens is then now when we go to app.go, see it added this line right here, app.resource/dogs. So anytime a route goes to /dogs, it's just going to route into dogs resource and look for the function that goes. So it knows that at least the original 6, like I think it's like, there's a list right over here. Okay, let me just find the right list. Okay, good. So basically, it's going to create these routes. Okay, so you'll have these routes from the get-go, assuming you're in API mode. If you didn't do the API flag, which I didn't for this project, you're going to end up with a few more routes. Let me find that full list. You're going to also have these 2 additional routes, but it does give you. Here you go. So if you're in API mode, you're going to have these functions available to you. So essentially, it'll have these routes, and then you'll have 2 more if it's a normal web application. Okay. And then if I remember right, I think I can just go to, went to all the wrong places. Here we go. I think if I type in Buffalo routes, oops. If I type in here Buffalo routes, it'll give us a list of routes. Stretch this out because it's probably going to get pretty big. Since we got all the cat routes, all the person routes. So it's running. It's taking its time. Trying to find the reason. Give it another few seconds. Now I'm just going to move on. But essentially, that's why this works. So essentially what happens is if we do a route with /dogs at the end, it hits this dogs resource. The dogs resource is defined in dogs.go, which has all the functions. The model exists because that model and migrations file was created. And it even creates some templates. So if you're in web app mode, which means you did the full install, it creates a set of dog pages, and we'll show you in a second. So that way you can actually manually edit them in the browser, which is kind of cool. Okay, I guess it doesn't want to show us the routes, so I'm gonna do that. So let's go to Buffalo Dev, let's run the server and show it at work. And again, another reason why it's important to put the fields in when you do the original resources command is that it adds all the appropriate form fields and variables inside these templates. If not, then you have to go back and add them yourself, which I learned the hard way. So if you just get that original command done, it really makes life real simple, having everything pretty much set up for you. So now that that's a thing, let's take one of these tabs and go up to that website, localhost 3000 / let me just double check what the route was. Dogs. So if I do this, take us to a page. There should be no dogs right now. Okay, here's our list of dogs. We'll create a new dog. Okay, we'll say Sparky, age 10. Save. And we have Sparky. And then I can destroy this dog. Or I can go back to all dogs. And there you go, and you have all that ready for you. And it's, you can pull it up as in an API. So if I were to go here, Postman's being a little slow. There it goes. It's from when I was testing cats. You can use the routes as you would expect them to here. So dogs. Now, only thing that's kind of annoying is that it tries to return you back HTML. So you see it returns me the HTML with the list of dogs. See, there's Sparky. Now, what if I wanted to return JSON? There is a way for it to give you back JSON. just based on like here. Let me just show you what's in the code. So you see here, there's different possibilities depending on whether you want to return JSON, XML, HTML. Although I'm not quite sure what do I need to throw into the URL to trigger that, or what header I need to put in there. It's not clear where this is coming from, or how that string gets passed in. See param, dog ID. Okay, paginator from, just params. Yeah, I don't see specifically where that's coming from. Okay, responder dot once, HTML, dot once, dot once, dot once. But where do I specify respond C? Yeah, I have to kind of study how those functions are built a little bit more, but you guys get the idea. It's working. Okay, you have now full CRUD on dogs, and we did it in like 5 minutes versus all that stress of the previous video. So that's a pretty neat feature here in Go Buffalo. Again, a lot of these more batteries included frameworks do have this resource feature, but I did find this pretty straightforward. Once you know how to set it up right, it goes a long way pretty quickly. So my name is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com. Have a great day.